Hey, Aaron. Can you talk? You won't believe this. Huh? Hello, Maddie. What happened? Hope it's nothing serious. You know that woman from our kindergarten? Cynthia, can't remember her last name. Your daughter Emmy is in the same class as her son. Billy, wasn't it? Oh, yeah. Watson. Cynthia Watson. Oh, yeah. Cynthia. Yeah, her son is in the same class. I talk to her on occasion. Didn't she say she just had her second child like 3 days ago? Yes, that's right. I was in the PTA meeting with her last year, so I knew her contact info. I heard she gave birth, so I called her to congratulate her. I asked her if she had decided on the baby's name. Anyway, it was just so shocking. What are you talking about? What happened? Well, the baby, it was a boy. The name she gave the kid, it was just so mind-blowing. I was so shocked I don't even remember. You know, it was one of those, how can I put it? A snazzy, fashionable name. Something like Saint something or other. Saint something or other? So, by something or other, it's a bit longer? Is that what you're saying? Well, that alone is kind of weird. But people give their kids all kinds of names. No need to get all upset about it. Yeah, well, I really don't care what she names her kid, but the problem was what happened after that. I heard the name and said, "Oh, that's some name," or something to that effect. And you know what she said about my kid, Barry? She said it was old-fashioned and tacky. Can you believe it? She said if I ever went overseas, like to Europe, people would make fun of it, and that he had no chance of working overseas, and added, "I feel so sorry for you." She criticized me for naming my kid Barry. Then she added that naming a kid is something that can't be changed forever. She kept repeating why I chose such a dumb name over and over. What a dumb name. What a cheeky name, like some broken record. And then she's like, "In contrast, how wonderful is my son's name?" And on and on. Calling my son's name dumb and cheeky? Can you believe it? Barry is way better than this Saint something or other. I can't even remember the stupid name. Wow, really? That's unbelievable. Was Cynthia always like that? I thought she was a bit more laid back. I don't know. Maybe she's all euphoric because she just gave birth. I don't know. Possessed, maybe. Anyway, she went on and on about our kids' names, making a complete mockery of my son's name. That's awful. I heard she is saying the same kind of thing to other moms. Now that she's back from the hospital, when she returns to bringing her kid to the kindergarten, you know, I'm worried that the whole atmosphere will be uncomfortable. I see your point. You're right. Could be a problem. I'll give her a call to say congratulations. See what's up. Hi, Cynthia. Congratulations on your new baby. How are you feeling? Are you all rested? Oh, hello, Aaron. Oh, yes. The baby and I are super fine. Baby is doing great. Healthy as an ox. That's great. I just talked with Maddie, you know, from the kindergarten. She tells me that you already picked a name for your newborn. She said it was a very unique name. Mind if I asked what you named him? Thanks for asking. Well, when he was born, he looked like a saint. And then I gazed out the window at the very moment, and the sky, it was a brilliant blue. So I named him Saint Blue. Pretty awesome, don't you think? Really inspirational. Saint Blue. Okay. Yes, really awesome. Sounds like a name that would come up in those superhero comics. Captain something or this or that ranger. Yes, like a superhero. When he gets older and travels overseas, well, I wanted a name that would really stick. A name people wouldn't make fun of. In this day and age, you have to give your child a name that will be remembered, that will leave an impression. Right. You think so? Of course. What was your kid's name? Wasn't it Emmy or something? Or was it Emily? I mean, please. That was my grandma's name. You better change that name. Sooner the better, while they're young. I mean, please. Emmy? Sounds like a bird or something. EMI. Or some engineering term. Electro... whatever. LOL. What are all these cheeky names? Emmy, Barry. How do you expect them to compete overseas? Bonjour, I'm Barry. LOL. I want my little Saint Blue to spread his wings and fly around the world. Yes, with a name like that, I suppose people overseas would be taken aback. Yeah, don't you agree? But wasn't your son... didn't he have an ordinary name? Wasn't it Billy or is it William? Pretty common name. Why did you decide to give your newborn such a unique name? Oh, yeah, Billy. Yeah. I was going to name him too, but... my husband and my mother-in-law came up with that name and submitted it, without consulting me. Can you believe it? I really hated that name, Billy. I prefer William, but you know kids. So I'm thinking of changing it pretty soon. I'm thinking of something along the lines of Prince or King something or other. I want to change it to a really cool name like that. Ah, right. Sounds wonderful. So, what's your baby's real name? Huh? What do you mean, real name? I know you're just playing around, so what's your kid's real name? I mean, you're not serious about Saint Blue, are you? Are you seriously thinking of naming your kid Saint Blue Watson? Sounds like some kind of product. Huh? What are you talking about? I'm not joking around. Some kind of product? How could you say that? Oh, good heavens. Are you serious? That's his name? Saint Beluga? Are you for real? Yeah, for real. And it's not beluga, it's blue. Saint Blue. Oh, yeah, Saint Blue. But... sounds like a punk rock band or something. Huh? Punk? Or maybe a character in that Pokemon cartoon. Are you really okay with naming your kid Saint Blue? You do realize this is permanent. All through school, he's going to be called Saint Blue Watson. Right pickings for bullying. Huh? Are you making fun of me? No, that's not my intention. I just thought, you know, what does it even mean, Saint Blue? Huh? Meaning? Yes, you know. Was it your father's name? Was it your great-grandfather's name? People name their kids for a reason. Could be spiritual or a family tradition. For example, I named my daughter Emily because it means industrious and hardworking. That's the kind of girl I wanted her to be. I read that it comes from Latin. So, does this Saint Blue have a meaning? Well, I'm not sure. Anyway, it sounds cool, right? It's a name that people will pay attention to, especially overseas. Unlike all these idiotic traditional names we hear every day. Oh, I get it. A cool and strong-sounding name that will impress people overseas. Yeah, that's it. You got that right. So, you're religious too, huh? I mean, the saint part. Maybe you should have just named him Saint Michael or Saint Augustine or something. Much more recognizable and impressive, I would think. Especially in Europe. Why pick Blue? Well, that's because, well... What about a middle name? Are you going to choose a middle name? Like Saint Blue James Watson or something like that? To be honest, you'll just confuse the kid. Oh yeah, James was your husband's name. So he would be Saint Blue James Watson Jr.? Or, by your standards, would you prefer Saint Blue James Watson II? Oh, did you already apply for that name? When you submit the form, are you sure you'll have enough space on the form? Maybe you should shorten it to SB, like SBJ Watson. Sounds kind of intellectual. How should I know? I haven't had time to do that yet. I was going to go and do it without telling my husband or my mother-in-law. Oh, is that right? Okay. When you submit it, I'd really like to know what you decided. For reference, you know, when I have my next child. Oh yeah, that reminds me. When he gets into kindergarten and first grade, I wonder if all the kids and teachers will remember the name. Unique, but also a bit hard to remember. You know what I mean? Maddie couldn't even remember what it was. And whenever the teacher changes classes, you'll have to submit his name. I bet it'll just be shortened to SB as time goes by. And SB, well, that could be interpreted in all kinds of ways. You know kids. Ugh, nobody is gonna call him SB. Oh, and I recently saw something on the internet. They took this survey, and it said applicants with weird names are at a disadvantage. Corporations prefer to be on the safe side. I know, sounds kind of discriminatory. Well, if he can't even succeed here in the States, how is he going to succeed overseas? Just wondering. Well, he is, you know. Hey, what the hell is this? What are you ragging on about my name choice? Are you mocking me? Of course not. But it was you who said that about Maddie's kid. You said Barry was an old-fashioned and tacky name. That's why I wanted to ask about your name choice. I figured you named your kid for a specific reason. I mean, to degrade someone else's name? You probably had a pretty good reason. I wanted to know why you chose that name, how it would affect that child, what will happen when he grows up. Would it make life difficult for him? I had all kinds of thoughts crossing my mind. I figured you had it all thought out. Oh, please, give me a break. I can do as I please. You have no right to tell me how I can name my child. I don't want to hear your advice. I don't need to hear any of your idiotic reasoning. Thank you. Well, that goes both ways, don't you think? If you want to name your child Paint, Saint, or whatever, you can do as you like. I mean, you're a complete stranger. I have no right to say a damn thing. But I have to defend my friend's child as well as mine. I couldn't just sit by and let it pass. Come on, Cynthia. It really doesn't feel good to hear someone trash talk your kid's name, right? Yeah, well, I guess. You know, you can name your kid whatever you like, and everyone will probably accept it. Why wouldn't they? But I would refrain from disparaging other kids' names. People just won't accept that. You probably said the same thing to the other mothers, am I right? You keep this up, and you won't have any friends left at school. If you're okay with that, I'll say no more. Yes, well, I was just, you know. I'm really sorry. I know you just returned home. You must be pretty tired. I hope you recover quickly. See you at school. After that, I did see her around, but she ignored me. But about a week later, she contacted me. Apparently, she thought about the whole conversation and realized she was in the wrong. She decided to name her son Randall, which means wolf shield, strong and protective. It's apparently a Viking name, actually kind of cool. She also went around to the other mothers and apologized for her attitude. Most of the moms were pretty forgiving. Most chalked it up to the stress from the pregnancy and birth. which we could all relate to. The atmosphere at the kindergarten changed significantly too. No more negative atmosphere. That was my biggest worry. I'm glad I confronted her about this. And I'm glad Cynthia turned out to be an understanding person after all.
Hey, Mom. Are you okay? Dad's funeral is about to start. Where are you?
Oh my, I didn't realize the time.
Please, get over here as soon as you can. We can't start without you. While Dad was sick, I took care of him the whole time. So at least help out now that he's gone. It's the least you can do, Mom.
All right, hold your horses. You're always so impatient. Sandy, pick up, would you? Where did you disappear to? I said I wanted to talk to you after the funeral. Why didn't you wait for me?
I just took Uncle Frank to the airport. They just boarded the flight back home. I just got back to the parking lot. I'll be back in about an hour.
An hour, huh? Why didn't you just wait until later in the evening?
They already have reserved their tickets. May take more than an hour if traffic piles up.
Well, that's way too long. I was going to tell you in person, but let's get it over with right here online.
Huh? What's this about?
I want you out of the house ASAP.
Excuse me? You're kicking me out of my own home? Dad passed away, for God's sake.
Yeah, okay. Take a few days to mourn then, but I want you out by the end of the month.
Seems a bit sudden. Can you explain why? I mean, the timing and all. Nobody to take care of Dad anymore, so you kick me out?
Yeah, well, you're certainly not the brightest bulb of the lot, so I suppose I have to explain it all to you in the simplest of terms. First off, I want you to reject all claims to your father's inheritance.
Dad's inheritance? Do we really have to talk about that now? Shouldn't we hold off on that for now? I mean, in respect to Dad, now's not the time, Mom.
We're family, so I don't think all that matters. Your father is gone, and we no longer need a nurse to take care of him.
So, you want me to give up all claims to Dad's inheritance and just leave, is that it?
That's right. You have no job, so you took it on yourself to look after your father as a nurse for the sole purpose of gaining an upper hand when it comes to splitting the inheritance. Well, sorry to break this to you, but that's not going to happen.
Wait. Are you saying I'm unemployed?
Yeah, you were constantly going on about how it was so hard taking care of your father that you had no time for work. I knew what you were scheming all this time. I bet you were hoping to just keep on living here rent-free. But no way that's going to happen. Just refuse any claim to the inheritance and get out of the house by the end of the month.
This is too much to contemplate right now. We can talk later after I get home.
Pardon me?
Mom, you're acting as if you've achieved some kind of decisive victory or something, but I get to stay at least till the end of the month, right? You do realize that it takes time to do all the paperwork for this inheritance stuff. We can't just talk about it over a line and be done with it. It's more complicated than that, and it takes time.
Well, yes, I suppose so.
Okay then, I'm on my way back right now. Hey Dave, thanks for coming to my father's funeral today.
Sandy, you must be tired from all the hard work today.
Sorry about this. Why is it that we only meet on such occasions? We really should date under different circumstances, lol.
Don't worry about it. I knew what I was getting into when I started going out with you. So, does this mean we're over the hard part and things will be normal going forward?
Yes, I suppose so.
What do you plan to do from now on? And I don't want to go and live with your mom.
Yes, as I mentioned before, she's really not my mom. She's my stepmom. Dad married her like 10 or 12 years ago. I just call her mom out of courtesy.
So does that mean you have to start looking for a place to live?
Yeah, that's why I contacted you. My stepmom, wants me out of the house by the end of the month.
You're not serious, really?
She also wants me to refuse all claim to my father's inheritance.
For real? What kind of person is she? Your father just passed away, for Pete's sake. You took care of your dad for almost 10 years. She didn't lift a finger to help, and she has the gall to make such demands?
Yeah, well, I really don't care about that. I was always planning to move out anyway. As a matter of fact, I was making preparations to move all these years. And about the inheritance, I never expected to receive anything.
Yeah, you told me, but to believe that yourself and to have someone say to your face, I don't know, it just doesn't seem right.
Don't worry about it. It's all good.
All good? You make it sound so simple.
That aside, I contacted you for a little advice. I know you work in real estate, so I figured you would be the best person to talk to.
Yeah, my advice on real estate.
Yeah, we can talk more about it when we meet up. Do you have some time this week?
Yeah, sure, no problem. I'll keep my evenings open, so when you have time, give me a holler and we can meet up.
Right. Thanks, Dave.
Hey, Sandy, I know you're seeing this. It's the last day of the month. Are you all packed and ready to move out? You better be. It would be great if you could move out today.
Oh, hey Mom. Yeah, I was gonna leave later this afternoon.
I know you're well aware of the situation, but just so you are crystal clear about it, the entire inheritance, it all belongs to me. You do understand that, right?
We did all the paperwork together, remember? I wish you would quit reminding me about it every time we talk. Also, I don't plan on coming back to this house ever again.
Oh, yeah? Well, that's good to hear. I'm surprised you were able to move out on such short notice. Did you find a live-in job or something? Bet it's some sort of live-in maid or nursing job. I guess that's all you're good for.
The moving people are going to get here pretty soon, so I better get ready. Yeah, I'm going to take Dad's ashes. I hope that's okay.
Yeah, whatever. You're not going to ask me to help you move now, are you? Sorry, but I don't have the time. Your father left me a little play money, so I think I will go have a little fun downtown. LOL. Oh yeah, that reminds me. I have reverted to my maiden name, so I have zero connections to your family and relatives. We are total strangers now, just so you know, LOL. You are no longer my daughter, just a stranger.
Oh, okay. No problem.
If you have any financial problems in the future, I don't want you coming to me for help.
Yeah, I get it. Buzz, buzz.
Sandy, what's this about? They told me they are going to sell this house and they want me out of it ASAP? What the hell is going on? This is my house. Nobody can kick me out.
Hello, Mom. Helen. It's been a while.
Excuse me?
It is Helen, right? We're not related or anything. Seems weird calling you Mom. Do you have a problem moving out of that house?
Of course there's a problem. Why do I have to move out of my own house, for God's sake?
But you submitted those papers. You reverted to your maiden name, and you have nothing to do with our family anymore, right?
But I inherited all of your father's inheritance. Nobody can demand that I move out of this house. This house is mine.
That's strange. That can't be right. That house has been in my name for the past 8 years. I own the deed to that house.
Wait, what did you just say?
It was about the time that my father's health deteriorated and he would need care for years to come. My income at the time was pretty stable, so Dad had the deed to the house put in my name.
Pardon me?
I recall we talked about this with the lawyers present years ago.
Are you nuts? You're not employed.
I'm surprised you didn't know, actually. I am employed. Self-employed, that is. I'm a writer.
A writer? What are you talking about?
I don't want to brag or anything, but I have royalty payments, enough to live on. Making monthly payments is actually not a problem.
Royalty payments?
It was hard being a writer and also taking care of my dad, but by the time Dad needed regular care, my royalty payments were quite substantial, and so it wasn't such a burden. It wasn't easy, don't get me wrong, but I made it through those years.
Are you serious?
What I really wanted to talk about is the house. If you plan on living there, well, you're gonna have to start paying rent. If that's what you want, we need to drop some paperwork, lease agreement and all.
Pay rent? How much is rent?
I talked to a local real estate agent, and he told me the average rent for that area is about $2,000 a month.
Are you serious? $2,000? I can't pay that much. I checked his bank account, my inheritance, and there was only $20,000 in there. I was expecting 10 times as much. What a total letdown.
Oh, now I remember. When we were all talking with the lawyer, you were only half listening to his explanation. I recall the lawyer saying it was only about $20,000.
My mind was somewhere else at the time. I was set on buying this one collector's item I was eyeing for a long time. I couldn't believe that he only had $20,000 in his account. What's going on?
Well, you have to consider that I nursed him for 10 years. I mean, all that adds up, you know. My dad worked his way up to a district manager, but was forced to retire when he got sick. All his nursing care was paid for using his savings. That also paid for your living expenses. You were a housewife all those years, so no income.
Excuse me? No wonder there was only $20,000 left in his account. That can't be right. So, that's all that's left?
All I can say is, you better make that $20,000 last as long as possible, or find a job ASAP. I mean, you're still in your 40s. You could find a job quite easily at your age.
I used all that up already. That was gone as soon as I got hold of it.
Excuse me? You spent it already?
Yeah, I bought some nice bags and went on that trip last week. Plus, I went out on the town a few times. I had no idea that I only had $20,000. I used my credit card without thinking, and when I realized it, I was overdrawn. My card was rejected.
Oh, I see.
What the hell am I going to do from now on?
All I'm asking is that you move out of that house, that's all. I don't recall you ever acting like my mother.
Pardon me?
When I was in school, you never gave me any allowance. I made do with my part-time job at the library. As for meals, like dinner, it was me or my father that prepared it practically every night. And you know what? I don't recall one time you ever cooked for us. I did all the house chores too, like the laundry, and I even mowed the lawn in the summer. And what's more, you never bothered to take care of my dad all those years. After all, these years of doing nothing, can you still call yourself my mother? It was me that held this family together, if I can even call it a family.
Sandy, can we talk about this? I mean, after all.
The lease runs out at the end of the month, so I suggest you start packing, unless you want to rent the place.
Oh, I have an idea. Let me live with you until I work things out. We are family. It's the least you can do. What do you say?
I'm sorry, that's impossible.
Excuse me? Why?
Well, because I'm living with my boyfriend now.
A boyfriend? Are you serious? When did you get a boyfriend?
I better get going. I have a lot to do today.
Wait, Sandy, let's talk this through. I have nowhere to go. I don't even have a hometown or relatives to go back to. Sandy, are you still there? Are you serious? Did you already block me? Please, Sandy, help me out here.
My dad saw all this coming and urged me to use his savings as I saw fit. My stepmom continued to stay at the house, thinking she had the right. But once she learned from our lawyer that she was illegally trespassing on private property and she'd be charged with a crime, she got out of there pretty quickly. I heard she found a live-in job somewhere out of state. But all those years of living off my father and not working, things apparently didn't go so smoothly. On the first day of her job, she came in late and continued to do so numerous times afterwards. She certainly didn't make any friends. On the other hand, she couldn't understand why she was being shunned. Can't imagine the stress she's going through. But what makes it even worse is that she borrowed money from some disreputable sources, and I hear she's in really hot water.